want to know from you, how do you look at cancer? Why is it spreading so fast?
Uncontrolled growth of tissues is cancer. Any kind of cancer. The fundamental strength of this human body is becoming weak. Radiation is a targeted therapy. You radiate cancer cell at a particular spot, but then you are killing the cancer cells, but you can't do anything about the new cancer cell being formed. Suppose your glucose absorption factor, you have diabetes, your glucose absorption factor or the tolerance of glucose, it's deviated in your body. If you are put into a cancer diagnostic test, PET scan, if your PET scan is done, there is high chance that you will be tagged cancer.
Namaste, Swamiji. Swamiji, I wanted to actually talk to you about, of course, we've been talking about diabetes and thyroid, and we've spoken about other chronic disorders, but, the scariest one, of course, is cancer. Like whenever anyone hears that, hey, a family member has been diagnosed with cancer, everyone, that takes a toll on that person and everyone around them, right? So I want to know from you, how do you look at cancer? Why is it spreading so fast, especially, in this decade? And what's the main cause of this, right?
So, any kind of cancer, if you look at cancer, any kind of cancer, we have named different cancer by different name. We name it differently.
Yeah.
But any kind of cancer, what is the core issue? Uncontrolled growth of tissues.
Yes.
Right? So now, the sentence itself says there is a controlling factor which has been lost. So, uncontrolled growth of tissues is cancer. And we have been talking about the fundamental strength of this human body is becoming weak. The integrating factor is becoming weak.
Yeah.
The Shadbalas is becoming weak. So, the controlling factor has become weak.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Now, if the controlling factor has become weak, we have to strengthen the controlling factor. That is the only solution. In chemotherapy, the kind of solution we have at this point of time, one, in cancer, one, chemotherapy is the treatment that is available.
Right.
The second one is what you call a surgery. The third one is radiation.
Yeah.
The fourth one is immunotherapy.
Yeah.
Now, in all these four, we are not treating cancer. It is just like if there is some kind of a trash which has got created in your room, you just broom it out.
We just remove the extra cellular growth that has happened.
Yes. But the formation of bad tissues will not stop. Because you are not doing anything at the control. You are not improving the controlling factor of this body. And you can't do it through medicine. Radiation is a targeted therapy. You radiate cancer cell at a particular spot, but then you are killing the cancer cells, but you can't do anything about the new cancer cell being formed.
Is there no medicine for that?
There cannot be a medicine for that.
Any reason? Isn't it like there's a flow of water and you put a dam to it so it stops? Can't it just be like that?
It will flow from a different direction. You can't stop the flow of water.
Okay.
You put a dam and then you release it slowly.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
If you put a dam and don't release it, it will find a different path.
Right.
Isn't it?
Right.
So you are just controlling the flow. You can't stop the flow. Medicine do not work even towards controlling the flow. You are just trashing off the wrong things which got created. You are just brooming out the things.
Right.
But the factory is on. It will produce more cancerous cell. You can't treat the factory through medicine. There is no way. Let me tell you clearly. Surgery is something which is good. If there is a lump and there is an infection, you remove the lump, and then again it will not stop the formation of cancer cells. Your body is producing it. Your body has lost certain strength of control.
Right.
The strength cannot be formed by anything from outside. It cannot be created by anything outside. Targeted therapy, again, it's a clearing of cancer cells. We are not doing anything for the cancer ecosystem that has got created. And then immunotherapy will destroy the whole humanity for sure. Because you are playing with something which is a defense mechanism of your body.
Yes.
If you play with your defense, then nobody can survive when it is needed. Nobody will be able to survive. So all these four things do not treat cancer. They are support. Now, what has to be addressed is new cancer cell being formed.
Yeah.
So this uncontrolled growth of cancer cell. So what has been lost? The control of your body has been lost. How do you control things? If you do any kind of an experiment where you are controlling something, how do you control things?
Build a management system around it?
No. If you look at the body and see, if you move your hand and then try to hold it. If somebody is moving your hand, you're trying to control it, hold it.
Yeah.
How do you hold it?
With the strength.
How do you exhibit that strength?
By bringing it together. Like.
No, again, through breath hold you exhibit your strength.
Okay.
Breath hold is the key to control. So, cancers, in the treatment of cancer actually points down to Kumbhak. But then, once I have said it, do we have a perfect module? So what I am saying is, if you work upon developing a perfect module, there is a lot to be done in that area. Who is doing research in the area of Kumbhak? Nobody. I am the only person who is doing it. But I need a lot of support from people who can understand this dimension. And if you do research in these areas of like cancer and untreatable disease, we can actually get to a very, very refined kind of a Kumbhak, and we can develop medical equipments, gadgets which can actually help achieving that state where you can come out of cancer, or at least you can correct the cancer ecosystem. If you correct the ecosystem, you will be able to ensure that the relapse period, the period of relapse actually extends a lot, where you can feel as if for life you are out of cancer. At this point of time, the relapse of cancer, the period of relapse is coming down. 2 decades back, the relapse period would be 10 years. Now it is 2 to 5 years. 5 years in future, or 10 years going ahead, it might come down to 6 months, 1 year. Then we will have a cancer epidemic.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous situation. So why the relapse period is decreasing? Because to treat cancer, we are putting poison in the body.
Through chemotherapy. Radiations and everything.
We are putting poison in the body. Just think about even the cancer test, the PET scan, positron emission tomography. A person is injected with radioactive glucose. Have you ever heard that radioactive radiation causes cancer? And a person is injected with radioactive glucose. But you know, there is no cancer test as such. It's a glucose absorption test.
Okay.
Suppose your glucose absorption factor, you have diabetes, your glucose absorption factor or the tolerance of glucose, it's deviated in your body. If you are put into a cancer diagnostic test, PET scan, if your PET scan is done, there is high chance that you will be tagged cancer. Actually, there is no diagnosis of cancer. But even the diagnosis which is being done can cause cancer.
Right.
Right. So, what is the play? What is the game? We need to ask this question. What is the game? Stages of cancer, first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage. It's just an idea. I have many people who have been detected this spot is cancer, and they were later on they were said it is not cancer because the point actually got vanished. So glucose absorption test cannot be a test of cancer. First of all, there is no other exact cancer test. Even the immunity tests of immune factors in the body, even if it is elevated to a certain extent, cannot be tagged as cancer, but it is being done at this point of time. Because of lack of realistic, specific diagnostic test, it's not a direct test, but an indirect way of inferencing. And that inferencing creates a lot of panic in the society. Some person who may not have cancer, if it is he is tagged cancer and done a test for cancer, he might get into cancer. So there are a lot of gray areas regarding the cancer narrative that we are building. Because of the lack of diagnostics and the lack of knowledge about cancer, we don't know why the cancer happens. Some research, some study says at some point of time, because in your genetics there is a particular AAC, ATGC or kind of a molecule which is more cancerous, can cause cancer, but these are all hypotheses.
Mutation, it's a mutation of sort, right? It can happen through like a reaction with something, and then cancer, those cells starts to multiply.
So mutation, even the mutation aspect, we have created mutation in the world because we are putting chemicals inside the body, which is, we are not supposed to do it. If you change the ecosystem, then the body will try to adjust to a new kind of an ecosystem, new kind of food. The body will mutate. And we have become weak mutants. That's what I have been saying. A person who can't come out, or the body who is prone to becoming or formation of cancer, is a weak mutant. If we would have become a mutant where cancer formation has stopped, that is a good mutant. But we have mutated the humanity in a completely wrong direction. But ultimately we have done it. We are not taking responsibility. But then how can you correct your genetics? Kumbhak can correct your genetics. Again, you will have to fall at Kumbhak. Empowering this body. See, that this thing I always say, even if Ishvara comes, he may not be able to give you health, or he cannot reverse your disease. He is not supposed to. Your body is supposed to reverse disease. Your body has been empowered in such a manner where it can reverse any kind of deviation. That's what has been happening for millions of years. We have many millions of years of proof that human body was not a body which will get into cancer very easily, which will get into chronic disease very easily. We had that kind of a resiliency, that kind of a tolerance, that kind of a immune strength, that kind of a metabolic strength. So that controlling factor has become weak. The controlling factor is Kumbhak. So Kumbhak must be incorporated in the lifestyle of every cancer patient. Only then his life will become empowered. There is no such other way.
Have you seen anyone getting out of the cancer?
We have many people. We run a cancer program, and we have seen out of cancer, we have seen people who were in the last stage surviving. We see the relapse being pushed further. We have seen people who couldn't get out of their bed after chemotherapy getting out of the bed and doing things which they couldn't do earlier, becoming independent. Even the pain factors go down. Pain factors of the body go down. The recovery of the body hastens up, it increases.
Right.
So there are a lot of people who are getting benefited through Kumbhak.
Can this be diagnosed through what we spoke about, Prana Shakti diagnosis?
See, once again, we can diagnose a body which has lost its control. So we can actually infer that this person is more prone to cancer. Like for example, if you can also do it, cancer is also confusion. The body is confused.
Right.
So if you see a person who is more confused than clear, and the person has more chances of cancer. To even this simplistic observation, we can infer that a person will get into cancer very easily. The body structure, the way somebody walks, the way somebody thinks. Confusion, wherever you see confusion, there is more chance of cancer. So we can actually create we can predict a probability.
Through those measures and methods.
Through that Kundali and through those measures, yes.
Got it. And stages, you said they don't matter much. So
stages, see, the spread actually matters, but then it is said for the sake of saying. There is no solution to it. And it is just some kind of an inference of somebody. One doctor looks at the report and situation, he might say second stage, the other doctor might say third stage. It is doctor's own idea and opinion. It has nothing to do with the realistic aspect of the disease. Even at later stages, if the body has that kind of a bala or the integrating factor, the control, it can be reversed. So the whole question comes to how much you can improve the controlling aspect of your body. And that much you can make your life better. Even at the last stage, you can make life better, improve lifespan through Kumbhak.
one question, Swamiji, which is like not directly related to Kumbhak. So let's say anyone has cancer in a family. So how does one support? Right? Of course, Kumbhak can be one of the things that can be integrated into their daily lifestyle, along with whatever treatments that are going on. How does because it's not just that person is suffering, everyone around them starts to suffer, right? And we've seen families break when cancer happens within a
So
family.
I'll tell you one thing which can actually ensure that the person is coming out of it. Now, if there is one person, a family member who is into cancer, just do a hand tussle with that person. You push that person and tell that person to push you. The day that person will be able to match your strength, the person will come out of cancer in some time. So keep this criteria in your mind and see how you can increase the strength of that person. By not keeping that person lying down on the bed,
Right.
making the person do Kumbhak so that strength factor increases, making the person do some activity so the strength increases, making the person stable. If the person can sit still for 25 minutes without movement, cancer is gone. That needs a lot of strength. So how strength can be generated? Can we support the person through Panchakarma, Ayurveda? So whatever you know, which can increase the bala, strength, or support that person, you do that. But then, if you go to one Ayurvedic doctor, maybe the nidana or the finding of the doctor may not be very perfect. You'll have to actually explore few people, few doctors who can support, who can actually find out the exact flaw in the system and help through a right kind of medicine. That exploration can be done, but I've told you one particular criteria. Just play a hand tussle with that person. If the person starts matching you, the person will come out of cancer. Right, so
That
you do.
indicates hope, or like that's definite?
That's definite.
Okay.
Even if we say hope, then of course life increment of that person.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for this session. It was an amazing one. Thank you so much.